Hello and welcome to Photo Finds, this installment for July 5th, 2014. I'm your host, Nick Russo. Thanks for stopping by. We're going to go ahead and get started right away. This week, another kind of unique week. We're getting started at the WaZoo Beer Festival over in Tampa at the Lowry Park Zoo, presented by J.J. Taylor, as you can see on this sign. Now, this is a beer fest, as you can tell by the name of the event, but it's actually pretty unique in the sense that all the proceeds from the event, ticket admission and sales and all that, they go to benefit animal care, education programs, and global conservation initiatives for the zoo. So it's very unique, very helpful in that way. And let's go ahead and get started with our photo tour of the festivities at the event. We're getting started inside the VIP lounge here. This is prior to the event opening up its gates. It was just open for a few VIPs and media to get some pictures and kind of see what the event or the venue was all about before the crowds came in, which they did in full force. They had Blue Moon set up here because Blue Moon was one of the main vendors of the event. Here's kind of a larger scale view of the room. Very large room. During the day, this room acts as a restaurant for zoo guests. They had a band in here, kind of a country-sounding band. There was a variety of music all around the event. Some bands outside, which we'll see later. They had a green screen set up to have some, mementos to take away from the event. And this is the little cup they gave you to hang around your neck on a lanyard here. This is your tasting cup, sponsored by Blue Moon. And you would put this around your neck on the lanyard and take it around to the different booths, and you could get unlimited amounts of beer selections that they had there. And then once the crowd started coming in, like I said, you walk around and you just taste all of the different beers. Some were more popular than others. Some pretty much had no traffic at their booths. This isn't a very new concept. These beer festivals have been around, but right now they're kind of taking off. It's pretty mainstream to go to these things, and but this one, like I said, is very unique because it benefits animal conservation and initiatives. They had these tables set up so you could stand. Not many of them, but they had them. Here is the event guide that you got, several pages telling you about all the different vendors and sponsors and the entertainment selection as well. Now, it was only on August 2nd, Saturday, from 7:30 to 10:30, as you can see here. Here's the little tunnel that they had that you would go underneath to get from the VIP section to the regular general admission section. VIP was an extra ticket price, which we'll see soon. We'll see the general admission area. Now here's that VIP lounge again. As you can see, extremely crowded, so a lot of people went for that VIP upgrade. Look at one of the lines here. The lines at pretty much the entire event were very long, but they did go by very quickly because there's not much more of just, the volunteer at the booth taking your tasting cup, filling it up, and, move along. And so the lines went by rather quick. Another line there. This one was for one of the more popular vendors out there. Now, this is about how much they fill up your tasting cup at all of the booths. And this is my cup full with one of the more popular choices at the event. There's this Voodoo Rogue beer that they had. And this was actually a donut-flavored kind of raspberry chocolate ale. It was very unique. Didn't really taste like beer that much. Tasted more like a candy, but it was great. The line was very long for this one, and they had a few different selections in this kind of novelty variety, sweet variety. Now they had a lot of merchandise set up in addition to the food and beer selections. We'll see more of that. This is just one of the shirt booths that they have set up here, all themed to alcohol. Papa John's was one of the big sponsors that they had here, giving out, first they didn't have pizza, they were giving out cookie cake, and then the pizza showed up later on, which everybody was happy about. Kurds Wing House was a big sponsor here as well, giving out wings, very delicious. And out here by the Kerr's Winghouse booth and Papa John's booth, they had a reggae band out here. These guys were very good. And I think this was the second out of 3 bands that they had set up. We'll see the third in a minute on the main stage. Some of these booths had games set up. Peabody's had this beer pong table set up. And around the corner from Peabody's, the Brass Tap had this cornhole kind of game set up. That's what I call it. I don't know what this game is actually called, but that's what I've always grown up calling it. Caddy Cap. This was a pretty cool product that these guys had set up. This was only, I think they said, maybe their 5th event that they attended, kind of showcasing this new product. Even though it's not perfected, it is a great idea. It's very simple, but it's these little plastic and rubber caps that you can put on top of your beer bottle, so if it tips over, it doesn't spill, and you don't have to, try to cram on that aluminum cap. Very cool idea. I'm sure they have a website if you want to check them out. I got a little one of these myself, brought home a blue one, and it works. They said there was a little leak problem that they had, but other than that, it's a great idea, I think. A lot of the vendors brought out some vehicles to kind of, bring more attention over to their booth. Shock Top had this Volkswagen Beetle over here. Now here's the entrance that you would upgrade to. Well, here's the entrance to the VIP area. That you would upgrade to if you didn't want just general admission. So you would have a button that's how they would know that you can enter from the general admission to the VIP area. And this was one of the most popular booths back in the VIP area. This was the Kona Grill. They had a lot of different, they had a lot of different selections on their menu, but the selections that they had here at the event, they were only 2 or 3 of them, but they were both extremely popular and very delicious. I'd love to go back to the Kona Grill and have some. And this was one of them, this kind of little pretzel roll here with this cheese topping. Everybody was loving this. And this other one was this chili with kind of a breaded topping on top of it. Extremely delicious. I just took this picture to show that they were not showing any of the animals at this event. I'm sure it had something to do with the amount of drinking going on. They didn't want to, have guests around the animals in that state. They were saying that they might have had some meat and greets with the animals, such as small reptiles, birds, monkeys, things like that, I guess, if weather permitted. But from what it looked like, the weather wasn't going to clear up, so I don't think that ever happened. Perhaps it did later in the night. Now, this is the general admission kind of standing area. This is a much larger area up by the main entrance, and this is where really most of the crowd was. And over by the main entrance, this is where the sign was for World of Beer main stage. The main stage was sponsored by World of Beer, which we'll soon see. And out here they had this final band on the much larger stage. And these guys were really good. They were a cover band. I think they might have had a few originals, but they were doing some Bob Marley covers. And over here, underneath the tent, was the World of Beer booth. And the World of Beer booth gave out the most food out of any booth at the event. They gave out this kind of almost full meal here, this burger, and then they had a macaroni and cheese and a coleslaw, and this was great. I've never been to World of Beer, but this made me want to go just to try this. I'll have it again, because this was excellent. And another thing that we'll see here is that they did have some live art going on around the event. I think this gentleman here was the artist. That's what it certainly seemed like, but I couldn't really tell because over in the right corner you'll see that girl was adding to the piece, so I don't know if it was kind of a free-for-all. But they did have live art set up in addition to all the beer, entertainment, and food as well. Alright, that's going to do it for the WaZoo Beer Festival. We're moving now over to Magic Kingdom very briefly, just getting some look over here at the construction over at the front entranceway. I think this is just some minor construction, maybe on that curb. Maybe they had some damage recently, but just looks like they're fixing that up. Over to the hub construction, we see that they have some steel erected here, moving forward on the progress with that. It's still just a lot of dirt though, so hopefully we'll see some more appealing improvements very soon. The People Mover is stopped dead in its tracks, I guess because the Astro Orbiter construction is still going on, so that's preventing anybody from getting on the People Mover. This is my first time at Magic Kingdom in a while, so I don't know if they've been doing that since the beginning or they had just recently shut down the People Mover. Let me know in the comments if you know. I know the Astro Orbiter has been down for quite some time for refurbishment, but I didn't know that it was affecting the People Mover. But as you could see, it was stopped dead in its tracks. Over to the Yankee Trader outside of the Haunted Mansion. Of course, we know now that the Haunted Mansion will be receiving a brand new themed gift shop in replacement of the Yankee Trader, but they still have the sign up over here. However, the windows are all blacked out and they have this construction sign up. So very soon we will see a Haunted Mansion gift shop over here. Word is around October 1st, maybe late September, but there's a lot of excitement building around that. Alright guys, that's going to do it for this July 5th, 2014 installment of Photo Finds. As always, I'm your host, Nick Russo. Thanks for stopping by, and until next week, have fun guys. Bye.